What's up, you guys? It's Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist here, giving you with another video on this week's updates. I'm going to give you a quick roundup of MLB postseason action, with the fact that yesterday I did mention that the Miami Marlins shockingly swept the Chicago Cubs in the wildcard series, 2-0 with a 2-0 shutout victory over them. They even got the best of National League Cy Young candidate Yu Darvish to get to this point. And I'm going to give you the upcoming postseason matchups in the divisional series, since the wildcard series is over as we speak. So, yeah, and also in yesterday's action, the San Diego Padres shut out the St. Louis Cardinals 4-0 en route to in the decisive Game 3 to advance to the National League Divisional Series, giving them their first postseason series win since 1998. Yeah, they have not won a postseason series since 1998. That was the year that they made their last World Series appearance. You know, that was when they won the National League pennant that year, and they ended up losing in a 4-game sweep to the 114-win New York Yankees squad in a 4-game sweep in that year's World Series. So they haven't made it past at least the first round of the playoffs since the National League pennant-winning season of '98. So congratulations to the Padres. They came through the biggest of time. As I believe on the mound it was... No, they actually went with a bullpen game throughout. The Padres did. They didn't have an official starter, so they went with a bullpen game throughout. And Jack Flaherty couldn't, despite his best efforts, couldn't get out of this one because his batters were pretty much silent throughout the entire day. So congrats to the Padres. They win it, and they will move on to the next series. So with that being said, I'm going to give you the postseason matchups for the divisional series, which is obviously a 5-game series and whatnot. And the rest of the way is going to be 7 games from the League Championship Series to the World Series. So, starting in this coming week's divisional series matchup, you're going to have, in the American League, you're going to have the Tampa Bay Rays against the New York Yankees. So, and this is a rivalry that's been brewing for like the last several years or so. And, yeah, this is going to be a really interesting one. It's going to be a dogfight throughout, as we all know it, as the Yankees enter the season as powerhouse, overwhelming favorites to win the division and win the World Series, but injuries stumbled them to a below 500 record before they stormed back and finished in second behind the Rays for the American League East Division crown. So with that being said, a lot of fighting brewing within the last several weeks of the season, especially for the last few years. It's still been kind of an interesting feat. So as a result, I'm looking forward to this matchup to see who comes out of this one. And also in the ALDS, you're going to have the Houston Astros against the Oakland Athletics, 2 AOS division rivals. The A's won the division and advanced to the second round of the playoffs, getting a postseason series win for the first time since making the ALCS back in 2006. The Houston Astros getting back to the division series once again. No surprise after what has been an off-season of absolute scandal, labeling them as the villains since the whole cheating scandal broke out after they lost last year's World Series to the Washington Nationals. And of course, for those of you who don't remember, the scandal revolves around them using electronic technology to help them win the 2017 World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and how they were able to beat Clayton Kershaw and company and whatnot, but mainly around the batting lineup. Hence the reason why George Springer, Jose Altuve, and Carlos Correa had a great series on that one. But that's not here nor there. But here they are after a struggling, trying season without their aging Hall of Fame future ace Justin Verlander, who's out for the year with Tommy John surgery. The Astros were able to rebound in the best of way for the last week of September, clawed their way into the playoffs, swept the Minnesota Twins, and now they're going to face the A's in the ALDS next week. So, if you hate the Astros, you have to go for the A's. So, but it's up to you. Anyways, in the National League, you're going to have the Los Angeles Dodgers going to take on the San Diego Padres, who I just mentioned in their victory yesterday against the St. Louis Cardinals. So it's going to be an all-time classic matchup. You have arguably two of the best teams in the National League, in the Padres and the Dodgers. It's going to be an absolute slugfest. You got a couple of MVP candidates in this series. You have the young superstar shortstop, rising superstar shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., and of course the all-around dynamite third baseman Manny Machado at the helm. And for the Dodgers, you have the superstar outfielder and former American League MVP Mookie Betts, who already has World Championship experience, and he's adjusting really well into his first year with the National League and with his new National League club. From top to bottom, it has been a really, really great success story for him so far. And as he stated that he hopes to help the Dodgers finally end their long World Championship drought that they haven't won since 1988. And we all know that infamous 88 postseason, the Kirk Gibson home run, Orel Hershiser's dominance, all that. So that's going to be a good series. I'm a Dodger fan, and I really hope they win. But I know it's going to be a slugfest, and I'm really looking forward to this one. And also in the NLDS, you're going to have the Atlanta Braves against the Miami Marlins, two National League East Division rivals. So it's been it's a whole divisional series round with the division rivals going up against each other. The Astros and the A's from the West, the Yankees and the Rays in the East, in the American League. In the National League, the Dodgers and Padres in the West, and the Marlins and Braves in the East. Yes, so East-West battles throughout the entire second round of the postseason. So it's going to be really interesting action. Let me know who you think exactly who has the upper hand in each series, and who do you think is going to win the World Series? Who do you think is a dark horse contender? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll answer your questions real quick. Also, yesterday was Game 3. No, I take that lie back. Yesterday was Game 2 of the NBA Finals between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. Lakers win another one in double-digit figures, holding off a Heat rally to win this one 124-114. Anthony Davis had another huge game, posting 32 points and 14 rebounds, while LeBron James had a near triple-double with 33 points and 9 rebounds and 9 assists, outdueling Jimmy Butler, who had 25 points and 13 assists for the Heat. And the Lakers took advantage of a Heat team that was without two of their best players in Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic, who had to sit this one out for injury. Now, Dragic, who had a tear in his foot, is supposed to be coming back later on in this series. And Adebayo is going to come back in Game 3 tomorrow night after suffering a neck strain in Game 1, which forced him to sit out last night's Game 2. So the Heat already facing a 2-0 hole, and is known for making its comeback heroics in their playoff games throughout this entire postseason. We're hoping to get their footing back in this one, because if they go down 3-0 tomorrow night, then this series is likely going to be over. But this is a Heat team that's been known for making its miraculous comebacks in the postseason, so it's going to be interesting. And of course, I'm a Laker fan. I'd really be surprised if it ends in a sweep, but this is a Heat team that's not going to go down without a fight. So for me, I predict this series might go 7, but it might end up in 5 games. But, you know, anything can happen. And some breaking news updates. Earlier this morning, I found out in the NFL that New England Patriots quarterback Cam Newton has tested positive for COVID-19, therefore rendering him out in what should have been tomorrow afternoon's matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs in Foxborough. But now that game has been officially postponed for either Monday or Tuesday, because one of Kansas City's players, supposedly a player under practice squad, had tested positive for COVID-19. So that game has now been postponed and rescheduled for either Monday or Tuesday. But if any more players or organization members get more positive tests on their COVID tests, then it's going to be a real problem, and it'll reschedule that for another week. And speaking of positive tests, I've been receiving updates that the 4 more players on the Tennessee Titans organization have tested positive for the COVID. So that's now a total of 16 people that's been tested positive for COVID-19. and you kind of wonder if their ability to continue on for next week or the week after is gonna hang up in the air, because it's been a good start so far for Tennessee. It was gone off to a 2-1 start, and this is not the way you want to kick off the NFL season if you're the Titans. So, and looking at the situation, it's not good. It's not good because you're barely like heading in. The fourth week has just barely started, and you already have like a total of like damn near 20 people overall that tested positive for COVID-19. And you just think whether or not should the NFL season continue at this point, because it's a really dire situation, as we all know it. Because it was like a really, really big topic of discussion, and how it's ravaged the country for most of spring and the summer. So this is one that's gonna linger on for quite some time. So if nothing is ever resolved, then the situation is gonna be dire. Right now, it's just not a good look, and it's a bad situation for the NFL in particular. So, the NHL managed to keep their processes clean throughout the entire postseason, and they managed to finish the year on time with a Stanley Cup champion in the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's one season that finished right on cue just a couple weeks ago, and now here you are in what looks to be like a real dire situation. And I apologize if I said that word 3 times already, but that's what it is right now. And I just think that if this goes on, that they may have to cancel the season entirely. Now, of course, there's going to be financial losses and repercussions along the way with that, but at this point in time, if this goes on, you may not have a choice. You got to think about the health and safety of your players and your staff members and whatnot, and of course the officials, because they're out there calling games and whatnot, and they may be affected by that too. So it's not good right now. But other than that, week 4, and with all the other games will progress throughout the league, is going to happen and continue where it stands right now. So 2 games have already been postponed or rescheduled for another date. And as we all know it, that's basically what's going to happen. So the rest of the games will continue through on. And also, as far as injury updates is concerned, the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers, who were ravaged with injuries for the first 3 weeks of the season, is going to get some major boost back with the return of tight end George Kittle and wide receiver Deebo Samuel heading into their home game for their Sunday night matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, but Jimmy Garoppolo has been ruled out for the second straight week with a high ankle sprain, so Nick Mullins will once again take over the reins. He had a good showing last week against the Giants, the New York Giants, when he threw for over 300 yards and 1 touchdown. So, based on his performance, they're going to go with him. And of course, head coach Kyle Shanahan shuts down any rumor of a potential quarterback controversy from that point on. But yeah, so with that being said, the Niners get a big boost, and hopefully they'll be able to shake off what's been like a rocky start so far to begin the year. So yeah, anyways, that's basically all I have to say at this point in terms of today's updates. But yeah, and of course tomorrow will be Game 4 of the NBA Finals, Channel 7, ABC. Make sure you check that out and tune in all of NFL's postseason actions and whatnot. So, and also in a few minutes, I'm going to post a video on my other channel. I'll drop the link in the description box in a minute after I post that video up. So I'm going to be touching up on the on a certain topic in the hip-hop community, because it's been a while since I posted up on that channel. So do make sure to check that out. I'll post a link in the description box in a second. But that's all I have in today's sports updates. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell icon button where you get my daily notification updates on my videos in the upcoming future. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Of course, this is Nick Johnson, sports YouTube reviewer, and I'm out. Peace.